'Twas the night before Weebmas when I went all through the house, looking for my bunny girl senpai cause she had forgotten her blouse. The striped panties were hung by the chimney with care, in hopes that Santa-kun soon would be there. The weebs were nestled all snug in their beds, while visions of waifus danced in their heads. Takarada's thick thighs and my head on her lap had just settled down for a long winter's nap. When out on the lawn there arose such a clatter, I sprang from the futon to see what was the matter. Straight to the door I beamed like Final Flash, expecting more weebs to arrive to settle it and smash. The pale moon which shone on someone unfamiliar gave way to a voice. Go figure. The voice quickly faded, much to my preference, proving to be nothing more than a JoJo reference, when what to my eyes did actually appear was but a middle-aged man devoid of all cheer. With red glasses that seemed to hate the word sorry, I knew in a moment he must be Gendo Ikari. More rapid than horsemen his angels they came, and he plotted and pointed and called them by name. It's Adam, it's Lilith, it's Tabris and Ray, not Michael and Gabriel who followed Godway. Now into the plug suit and onto the plot, it's time to get into the fucking robot. With fists clenched in defiance I took a step back, wondering who summoned this egomaniac. Scrambling for an excuse to reject his demand, suddenly a growl echoed from across the land. Like a man realizing his life had been spared, that's when I knew there was no need to be scared. As he saw my rebellious face and pouted, I smugly pointed to a nearby bush and shouted, "Before robots and angels I must save Saga, because that growl was none other than Tai Yamada." As leaves in the harsh winter wither and die, so did my hope as I saw it was a lie. What emerged from the bush shook me to the core, not zombies but goblins from ancient folklore. As these creatures stared us down from head to toe, they gave an evil smirk and leapt across the snow. Right as they landed they took a bite out of Gendo, the best Christmas gift since my first Nintendo. Once I saw them shift their heads towards me, I ran back to my house in an attempt to flee. Once inside, my body collapsed into a chair, having slammed the door shut on this endless nightmare. But down through the chimney the goblins they came, bearing a bloodlust that no human could tame. I rushed to my computer to summon Gridman, thinking why not, either way I'm a dead man. Out from the screen two shadows flew into the air, one vanished while the other landed on my hair. The figure on my head turned out to be a slime, and strangely enough his presence was sublime. With a few words he slayed the goblins with kindness, soon enough they were calling him Your Highness. Now that all was well and everyone was nice, I asked them to join me for dinner without thinking twice. Right before the festivities could commence, a voice came from outside that was rather intense. It was Gendo calling for me to come his way, so I said to myself I mustn't run away. As I stepped outside he greeted me with a gun. Pointing right at me, there was nowhere left to run. But behind Gendo something started to appear, a shadow that was thrice the size of a reindeer. When he pulled the trigger I somehow felt no pain. What had happened was rather hard to explain. A giant kaiju had emerged and swallowed him whole, vanishing for good once it had accomplished its goal. It happened so fast that it didn't feel real, but the way it had ended was more than ideal. Suddenly I felt something fall on my head. It was a red-white card that said Netflix and read, "Brace for third impact in 2019. This is the moment I knew I needed caffeine. 4 years overdue, they left me with no time to spare. There was no other choice but to go and prepare. I went back into the house and kicked out the guests, because when it's life or death, there's no need for pests. But they heard me shout as I drove them out of sight, "Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good fight."